Wednesday, 30th March, The Gap News This Morning, podcasting live from Kuala Lumpur, I'm Ghazali Abdullah. Good morning. First, the headlines. Socso pays 1.4 billion ringgit in compensation for industrial accidents in 2021. KJ to explain My SJ issue in Dewan Negara. Water cut in 144 areas in Gombak, Kuala Lumpur today. Prasarana probes video on assault at convenience store. Russia says it will drastically effectively reduce attacks around Kiev. Parts of London hit by power outages and transport closures. And Johor sports tourism to receive 14 million ringgit boost from Tour de France experience event. And now the news in full. The Social Security Organization, Socso, has paid a total of 1.4 billion ringgit in 2021 in compensation involving industrial accidents across all industries, which include local and foreign workers. The head of its Prevention, Medical and Rehabilitation Division, Dr. Azlan Darwas, said that in 2021, Socso's interim data recorded a total of 61,447 accident cases, whereby 36,794 cases involve industrial accidents with almost 700 deaths and 24,683 accidents while commuting to the workplace. The construction industry had among the highest number of fatal accidents. Therefore, as we emerge from pandemic lockdowns and into the economic recovery phases, it is high time to reset its practices and emphasize health and safety more to prevent losses. He told reporters of the launch of the 20th Master Builders Association of Malaysia's Annual Safety and Health Conference 2022. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin will explain in detail in the Dewan Negara this Thursday on questions raised by several parties regarding the appointment of My SJ Sendirian Berhad as the licensee of the My Sejahtera application. Khairi said he also made a request to Senate President Rais Yatim to allow a motion to be debated on Thursday as the issue of personal data privacy was important. I will answer all the questions in the Senate. There is nothing to hide. Those who are not familiar with this may not have read up in full and continue to raise the same issue. A total of 144 areas in Gombak and Kuala Lumpur will experience unscheduled water supply disruption due to a leaking valve in Wad Lama, Jalan Kuching in Kuala Lumpur. Long said repair work on the valve would be carried out from 11 a.m. today and was expected to be completed by 9 p.m. Water supply will start to be channeled in stages to consumers' premises after the repair work is completed. Supply is expected to be fully restored by 9 a.m. on March 31st, it said in a statement. Prasarana Malaysia Berhad has launched an investigation after a video showing a man dressed in the company uniform assaulting a member of the public at a convenience store went viral. It said it took seriously the allegation that the offender was a Prasarana staff member based on the uniform in the video. It is believed that the incident occurred when the victim was caught red-handed taking food without paying at the convenience store, Prasarana said in a statement. Thank you for being with us in this podcast group. You are listening to The Gap News, coming to you from Kuala Lumpur with reports from Free Malaysia Today, The Vibes and the BBC World Service. The Gap News is also available on the internet news portal Melaka Hari Ini. More to come, news from the international front. Russia has decided to drastically reduce combat operations around the capital Kiev and the northern city of Chernihiv, its deputy defense minister says. He is among officials in Istanbul for face-to-face talks with a Ukrainian delegation. The announcement follows Ukrainian proposals for security guarantees aimed at ending Russia's invasion. Chelsea owner and Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich has turned up at the meetings. The Kremlin dismisses reports that the billionaire was poisoned earlier this month. Turkey's President Erdogan says it's time the talks yield concrete results. Russia's Deputy Defense Minister, Alexander Fomin, has said Russia will drastically reduce combat operations in the Kiev and Chernihiv areas in order to boost mutual trust. Ukraine's negotiators says it would adopt neutral status in return for security guarantees. meaning it would not join any military alliances such as NATO or host military bases. Turkey said the moves marked the most significant progress since the war began. Parts of London, including the Canary Wharf financial district, were affected by power outages caused by a fire at an electrical substation in the area, which also impacted public transport and road tunnels. London Fire Brigade said they were dealing with a blaze causing power outages to around 38,000 customers. The cause of the fire was unknown, they said. Services on the Docklands Light Railway line, which links Canary Wharf to the City of London, were affected, and the area's two major river crossings, the Blackwall and the Rotherhithe road tunnels, were closed. UK Power Networks, which owns and maintains electricity cables and lines across London, said there had been a network fault. They did not confirm how this was related to the substation fire. And now for some sports news. Tour de France premier event outside of France, the L'Etape bicycle race for amateurs, will be held at the Desaru coast here on June 4th. With 4,000 cyclists from Malaysia and abroad participating, the competition is significant as it marks the return of major events to Malaysia after the COVID-19 pandemic all but obliterated the sports, tourism and events industry. Newly minted Menteri Besar Dato' On Hafiz Ghazi, who launched L'Etape Malaysia by Tour de France, said the two-day event is expected to generate about 14 million ringgit for the state's economy. This would be a landmark program to prove that Johor is now open for business, and we welcome everyone to Desaru Coast, one of our premium tourist destinations. To end the bulletin, here are the headlines again. Socso pays 1.4 billion ringgit in compensation for industrial accidents in 2021. KJ to explain My SJ issue in Dewan Negara. Water cut in 144 areas in Gombak and Kuala Lumpur today. Prasarana probes video on assault at convenience store. Russia says it will drastically, effectively reduce attacks around Kiev. Parts of London hit by power outages and transport closures. And Johor Sports Tourism to receive 14 million ringgit boost from Tour de France Experience event. This has been the Gap News this morning, Wednesday, 30th March, with reports from Free Malaysia Today, The Vibes and the BBC World Service. The Gap News is also available on the internet news portal Melaka Hari Ini. We hope you found the bulletin informative. We certainly welcome hearing from you. If you do have the opportunity, please do write in. We would certainly love to hear from you. Podcasting live from Kuala Lumpur, I'm Ghazali Abdullah.